Hello, everyone. This video will go over the instructions for completing and assembling your Cultural Proficiency 360 portfolio. Okay, I have two documents that I'm going to show you. The first one will be the final instructions, which is what you see right in front of you, and the other will be your Cultural Proficiency 360 template. So first, you see the contents of your Cultural Proficiency 360 portfolio. The items that are highlighted in pink, you should have already completed by now. These were the writing assignments that we worked on in weeks 1 through 5 of the course. And then we shifted into a focus on special topics and had more discussion-based activities. And so after all this content, it's now time to do the final statement, which is worth another 20 points, just like the other writing assignments. And there's also 10 points for professionalism. So while, yes, your Cultural Proficiency 360 portfolio will be worth a total of 130 points, you've already done the first 100. And so this is all that remains, the last 30 points. Let's go ahead and look at the rubric that pertains to your professionalism points. You will see some oddities in the calculations because you've got where you can score 1, 2, or 3 points per element, and there's 3 elements, yet it's supposed to total up to 10. I promise I do have a fundamental understanding of mathematics, so just consider one of those points on me, a freebie. The others you'll have to earn. So first of all, there's completion. To get all the points for that element, you just need to make sure that your portfolio contains everything that's listed in the requirements. For formatting, I am providing you with a template, okay? And so, my computer is moving slow at the time of recording, but I'm providing you with a template. You'll fill in your name and date here. I've already done the table of contents. Everything else you will copy and paste from work you've already done. And then I'll get to more information about what remains, the final statement. But the point in showing you that is to show how I have it neatly formatted. And so I ask you in the copy and pasting process to maintain the integrity of the formatting that I have done for you. Everything should fit pretty well onto the pages. If it doesn't, try adjusting the size of the font to make it fit. Obviously, if it makes it ridiculously small, let's just say if you tend to be like me and have a lot to say, there may be some cases where it has to go onto the next page. If you have any concerns about that, you'll have a chance to reach out to me before the final grade. But overall, with rare exception, you should be able to keep everything on the pages as you see right in front of you. And so when you copy and paste, it is important that you make any adjustments as necessary to keep everything neat. And so for this final portfolio, that will be important. That's how you get all 3 points, by keeping it all intact. If at least 75%, but less than all of it is intact, that's worth 2 points. And if less than half of the original formatting is intact, that's worth 1 point. And for language and grammar, I just need to see that proofreading and spell check is evident. And if you do that, there should be no more than 2 typos. And that's how you would get the full points for there. So for the final statement, what you'll do is reflect back on this course, more specifically, your experience. Please note that the final statement is an essay. Now, I'm not looking specifically at the length of it, but a thoughtful essay would be at least 1.5, 2 pages in length. And what you're doing is considering your earlier writing assignments. So once again, the writing assignments, weeks 1 through 5, you're not posting the entire thing. You are just referring to these portions of the writing assignment. It will match up very easily with what you've done, and the instructions on what you copy and paste will be easy to follow. You will reflect back on those earlier writing assignments as well as the content that we covered, had activities around, and discussed in weeks 6 through 13. Okay, so your response in the form of an essay will be a description of your development of your cultural proficiency journey since the beginning of this course. This is going to look different for each individual, and there's not actually any wrong answers. I'm just looking for thorough responses. So with that in mind, please be elaborate and clear with your details and examples of the following. Each of these bullet points should be reflected in this final statement. So first of all, the role you believe your cultural identities or the intersection of identities played in the development of your cultural proficiency. As we've learned, our experiences, our backgrounds do play a big role in our perceptions and how we make sense of the world around us. Also, there's your personal biases. So address which biases you've become more aware of and describe what you do to manage these biases. Your considerations for human diversity and how being different from the predominant population may affect a student's perceptions or experiences in school. This one is very broad, but to illustrate your points, feel free to focus on a specific example here. And this can be especially if you believe that you've learned more about a specific population or a type of cultural identity since taking this course. You will also want to include practices that you'll engage in your professional role and how these practices will demonstrate your cultural proficiency. And same as above, you pick how you are going to choose to address this broad element. Again, you can use specific examples to make your point. And you want to wrap this statement up with explanations of your future directions for your cultural proficiency journey. So how do you plan to keep this journey going? What will that involve? Again, it could look different for each person. There's no wrong answers. So for the 20 points that apply to your final statement, here are the required elements listed in the first column. Really, it's just a breakdown of those 5 bullet points that I just went over. And here you have a range of below standard, meet standard, and exceed standards. Pretty similar to any other assignment that we've done here with a rubric. And also similar to other assignments, you'll notice that to get the full credit where you are exceeding the standard for each required element, you're not just addressing it and describing it with clarity, but you're also elaborating with details or examples, whatever would apply. I hope this overview will help elaborate on the instructions for your Cultural Proficiency 360 portfolio. If you have any questions, After you've watched this video, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to assist. Thank you.